What's up, everyone? Today I'm doing a first look here at Sakiko Togawa. She's part of the Ave Mujica event, and on paper, she has the best single target DPS in the game. That means if you've got just one target, like a boss that you care about, she can put out more raw damage in one skill cycle than anyone else right now. I was impressed by that, and I have missed some of the other big DPS over the last few years, so I thought I would pick her up and see if she's a nice addition to my box. So far, honestly, I'm not really overjoyed with her, so I wanted to give a quick overview on her, and you can make your own decision about what to do. Let's quickly cover her mechanics. She is a Lord Guard, meaning that she can make ranged attacks, but she works a little differently than the others. Sakiko attacks automatically. Even if no enemies are in range, she will put out these musical notes. When they get close to an enemy, they will lock on and hit them. The notes can drift outside her attack range, so you can hit enemies significantly further away than usual, but that's more of a perk than a strength. The notes follow this wave pattern, so while she can do a bit of damage to faraway enemies, it's not very consistent, and she's not likely to kill someone at this range unless they're very weak or they stay put for a long time. All of her skills are offensive recovery, but they charge per attack, not per hit. Since she attacks constantly, it's almost like the skills are on auto recovery, but with one big caveat. Charge rate is influenced by attack speed. That can work in your favor if you buff her attack speed, but attack speed penalties also impact her more than usual. Slow, freeze, stun, or stage-wide penalties like contingency contract penalties will impact not just her DPS, but her skill uptime. This means she's very responsive to buffs. Buffed attack, attack speed, or skill point recovery all stack to increase her total damage output and cycle time. Her talent 1 gives Saki and all her bandmates a small amount of defense and resist ignore for every note currently on the field. The effect size will usually be pretty modest unless you're using her S1, whose only purpose seems to be to maximize this buff in exchange for doing an embarrassingly small amount of damage. Her talent 2 does a lot. Any other Ave Mujica operators that overlap her attack range can extend her attack range. That's the most interesting for the Bard and the Ambusher teammates, who have attack ranges large enough to be interesting. Again, this largely feels like a perk and not a game changer. Her notes move slowly enough and are weak enough that she isn't going to be racking up a lot of kills holding multiple lanes at once. Her range during her S3 is already quite large, although you could use this talent to help her aim behind her or give her a huge frontal range on that skill. It does mean building and bringing those bandmates also, and they are a lot less meta-relevant outside of their ability to boost Saki. Her talent 2 also gives attack speed plus 12 to any operator in her range. That includes her, and it includes the extended range if you overlap with her teammates. Speed plus 12 isn't life-changing, but it is a solid perk in a potentially large area. Finally, there's the fever mechanic. All of the Ave Mujica members can charge up a shared fever meter. They all have different mechanisms for adding fever points. Saki gains 3 points for every instance of damage she does. When it hits 450 points, which is 150 hits if she's flying solo, the next band member to manually activate a skill triggers fever. All band members activate their skills for 20 seconds for free. If it's an instantaneous skill, they will use it continuously over that 20 seconds. After that, their SP is exactly where it was before, so if they were charged up before Fever, they can trigger their skill again right away. This lets you get 45 seconds out of Saki's S3, during which time she can pump out almost 500,000 damage unbuffed. Speaking of that S3, here it is. She releases 4 notes with each attack. 2 notes do physical damage to the enemy with the highest resist, and 2 do arts damage to the enemy with the highest defense. At M3, that's 880% attack per attack interval. Not quite per hit because it's spread across 4 notes, but 880% for each attack for 25 seconds, which is a pretty impressive multiplier. And yet, I got her to E2 and tried it out, and it was pretty disappointing. For comparison, here's another recent operator with no modules and no masteries hitting the same enemies. I don't have her maxed yet, but I am accustomed to good DPS operators having an S3 that's pretty impressive right out of the gate. Sure, they'll get better when maxed, but usually you can see their potential right away. This is another important quirk of Sakiko. She is extremely dependent on her module for max stats. As a comparison, here's Moinar's module. It grants him about 27% increased damage across attack speed, attack, and trait buffs. Sakiko's module, on the other hand, is massive. At 3rd level, it reduces the Lord penalty for ranged attacks while her skill is active. That's basically all of her attacks while the skill is active. So that alone is a 25% boost, which is almost as much as Moinar's whole module. Then it also adds more attack speed than Waynar's does, adds a comparable amount of attack, and improves her defense and resist ignore. All in all, it's about a 60% increase to her skill cycle damage. That's the difference between doing 150,000 damage and doing 250,000 damage. Without this module, Sakiko is a B rank guard at best. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources to spare on it right now, and I can't find any support units to borrow with it either, so I can't really see Saki's peak performance yet. That made my first day of using her pretty underwhelming. For someone styled as one of the best DPS in the game, I was expecting a little more. So, overall, is Sakiko good? Well, she definitely can get better than where I have her right now. But my initial impression is that she's a finicky operator with a very specific niche. Her notes don't always hit the enemy you want them to. She's very susceptible to debuffs, and other nukers quickly outclass her if there's more than one enemy that you want to kill. She's very responsive to buffs, which could make her crazy in stationary security service or integrated strategies, but those aren't really relevant enough to justify chasing an operator that you don't have. All she really brings is damage, and while that's the best thing to bring, it's not clear that she brings enough to be a cornerstone of your team. This collab may not ever come back, so right now is your one shot to get her, but I don't think you need to lose too much sleep if you miss her. Let me know in the comments if you disagree or have any notes. Good luck on your free polls. I'll see you next time.